You spend thousands of dollars on solar panels, batteries, and wiring. You plug in your appliances, wait for the hum of the compressor, and instantly trigger a total system blackout. When an off-grid system crashes like this, it is rarely due to faulty equipment. Almost every time, it traces back to a single pervasive math error regarding continuous power loads. This graphic shows the most common mistake in solar design. You look at the back of a standard chest freezer and see a 150-watt label. You multiply that by 24 hours and map it as a flat, continuous draw of 3,600 watt-hours per day. Designing a power system around a 3,600 watt-hour daily assumption forces you to purchase massively oversized, highly expensive battery banks to store energy you will never actually use. The paradox is that even after spending thousands on an oversized battery bank, the system will still shut down the moment the freezer turns on. Sizing an electable system accurately relies entirely on dynamic load modeling and surge parameters. The nameplate wattage alone gives you almost no useful engineering data. We are going to abandon the guesswork and engineer a mathematically precise 24-volt architecture for a standard 150-watt chest freezer from scratch. Treating a dynamic, inductive appliance like a continuous light bulb guarantees an inefficient build and critical hardware failure. To calculate the true baseline daily energy requirement, we have to look at the physical mechanics of a compressor. It simply does not run continuously. This graph shows how power is actually drawn. A freezer operates on a duty cycle, a pattern of actively running to drop the temperature, and then sitting completely idle while the insulation does the work. In a standard room temperature environment, a chest freezer actively runs for only about 40% of the day. Applying that to our formula, we take 150 watts, multiply it by 24 hours, and factor in our 0.4 duty cycle. This gives us our actual baseline, 1,440 watt-hours per day. That 1,440 watt-hours is less than half of the 3,600 watt-hour misconception most DIY builders start with. Establishing an accurate duty cycle baseline is the mandatory first step. You cannot specify a single piece of hardware until this number is locked in. You cannot design a system using only the raw appliance load. Power delivery is inherently inefficient, and we have to account for the energy lost between the battery and the freezer. This chart represents our required energy baseline. To find out what the battery actually needs to provide, we build the system loss stack. First is the inverter. Converting DC battery power to AC wall power requires a pure sine wave inverter, which consumes energy just to operate. We lose about 10% here, dividing our total by 0.9 to push the requirement to 1,600 watt-hours. Next, we account for the physical resistance in the copper wiring, which causes voltage drop, as well as the conversion losses inside the solar charge controller. We group these remaining inefficiencies into an additional buffer, bringing our final target up to a firm 1,700 watt-hours per day. Failing to calculate the cumulative system loss stack ensures your system will steadily fall behind, draining the battery completely dead overnight. With a firm target of 1,700 watt-hours, we can define the physical battery bank. We are designing this around a 24-volt architecture. Since batteries are measured in amp-hours, we convert our target by dividing 1,700 watt-hours by 24 volts. That leaves us with a requirement of approximately 71 amp-hours. This diagram illustrates our next constraint, depth of discharge. No battery can be repeatedly drained to zero without permanently destroying its chemical structure. If we use a modern lithium iron phosphate battery, the safe, usable capacity is 80. Our calculations now secure the slow, continuous drain of energy, but the system is most vulnerable in the fraction of a second when the freezer compressor turns on. To overcome mechanical inertia from a complete dead stop, a compressor requires a massive, instantaneous injection of power. This oscilloscope trace shows that transient surge. The power draw spikes from a quiet 150 watts to nearly 1,000 watts, before immediately settling back down into its normal running state. If an inverter is sized only for the 150-watt continuous load, this sudden surge will instantly overload it. That extreme surge current pulls heavily from the battery, which can cause severe voltage sag. If the voltage drops too fast, the battery's protection circuits will interpret it as a short and shut everything down. To survive compressor startup, the system requires at least a 1,000-watt pure sine wave inverter, specifically selected for its high surge capacity. An inverter's specifications must be dictated by transient peak loads. The continuous appliance draw only dictates your energy storage. The final variable is generation. We need a solar array capable of replenishing that 1700 watt-hour daily target. We calculate this using peak sun hours, the daily duration of highly intense direct sunlight. We will use a conservative baseline of 5 hours per day. Dividing our 1700 watt-hour target by those 5 hours leaves us with a necessary generation baseline of 340 watts. We then add a 25% safety margin. This compensates for efficiency drops caused by passing clouds or the thermal losses that happen when panels heat up in the sun. That margin finalizes our requirement, an array containing between 400 and 500 total watts of panel capacity. This schematic is our final integrated architecture. A 400-watt solar array pushing power to a 24-volt 100-amp-hour lithium battery, converted by a 1,000-watt pure sine wave inverter to run a dynamic 150-watt load. By calculating the precise math, we eliminate the physical risks of the system. We avoid thermal runaway from undersized wires, prevent instant inverter failures caused by tight surge margins, and stop batteries from draining empty due to ignored loss stacks. True off-grid reliability is never achieved through estimations. It requires rigorous mathematical modeling of inefficiencies and dynamic loads.